What's going on, everybody? It's Phil here, and welcome to my WWE WrestlePalooza 2025 predictions video. We're going to be going over each and every single match that is currently scheduled for WrestlePalooza 2025, and ultimately where I think WWE can go from here as we head to Crown Jewel within the next couple of weeks. Of course, with this show being the first ever WWE PLE on ESPN, WWE is going to have to hit it out of the park, so I'm expecting a lot to happen on this show, along with many others. So, we'll see how it all shapes out. But if you guys like what you see today, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are a new one, turn on the bell for all notifications. That way you guys never miss another upload right here on the YouTube channel. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We are so close, so close. So help us get that goal by hitting that subscribe button. And it's free, so you can always choose to unsubscribe later. But I don't know why you would, because at the end of the day, this channel's great. But without further ado, let's get right into the video. Let's start off with the tag team match involving Division's Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed taking on the Usos and Jimmy and Jay. Now currently there are a lot of arguments to be made on who should come out the victor of this tag team matchup between the Usos and Division's Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed. When it comes down to the Usos, we all know that Jey Uso's been kind of getting more into a dark, more aggressive side to him, being almost like Roman Reigns in a sense of being so controlling over his brother and Jimmy Uso. But when it comes down to Division, you can argue that they need this win more considering that they have gotten a lot of losses as of late. They lost their tag team match at SummerSlam. They lost, Bronson Reed lost his match against Roman Reigns at the last show that we were at. So at the end of the day, it just feels like Division should pick up the victory here. Especially considering we all know that Paul Heyman is out of commission right now as he was taken out by Roman Reigns and that guillotine, while also Seth Rollins is working with his wife and Becky Lynch during the whole CM Punk and AJ Lee storyline. So we all know that Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed could use a win, and it's definitely something that could honestly propel the rest of the division to be something more long-term for Monday Night Raw in the future. And then ultimately, when the Division comes back into full form with Becky, Seth, Bronson, Bron, and Paul Heyman, you can really make an argument that they are the most dominant force within Monday Night Raw. And personally, I believe the fact that if you do have the Usos lose this tag team match to Division here, that could ultimately only propel the story of Jey Uso getting more aggressive, getting more like Roman Reigns, and it could just allow that story to flourish even more. Not only that, but we also have to be talking about somebody else that's also been a part of this story, and that is none other than LA Knight. And the reason why I'm talking about LA Knight is because at the end of the day, he's truly one of the driving forces as to why Jey Uso is acting the way that he is, especially towards his brother, and just how his attitude has changed as of late over the course of the last couple of weeks on WWE programming. So who's to say that LA Knight can't possibly show up in this matchup here, even though he's not currently scheduled for the show, and ultimately cost the Usos in the end, because it's not happening in terms of him helping the Division. It's just because he wants to get his lick back on Jey Uso after everything that's been happening between the two over the course of the last couple of weeks. So there are a lot of possibilities when it comes down to this tag team matchup here, but my ultimate pick for the winner of this tag team match is Division's Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker. Up next, let's talk about the vacant Women's World Championship matchup between Io Sky and Stephanie Vaquer. Now this match ultimately has the showings of being possibly the best match of the entire night. We all know that Io Sky and Stephanie Vaquer are two of the greatest women's wrestlers to hit the face of the planet today in the world of pro wrestling, especially for women's pro wrestling, and this match is going to be absolutely fantastic, especially with it being for the vacated Women's World Championship after Naomi announced her pregnancy. Now this of course falls off the heels of, like I said previously, of Naomi announcing her pregnancy to the world and thus vacating the championship, but we all know that this is Stephanie Vaquer's shot at the Women's World Championship after winning the Battle Royal back at Evolution. So we all know that Io Sky was ultimately chosen by Monday Night Raw General Manager Adam Pearce to be a part of this match. So you're getting Stephanie, you're getting Io, and you're going to be getting a new Women's World Champion by the end of the night. And personally, when it comes down to the grand scheme of things, you know that WWE is putting the rocket on somebody like Stephanie Vaquer. Stephanie Vaquer has been primed and ready by WWE to be put in a position like this to win the Women's World Championship, not even just a part of Naomi's absence, but just as a general point in and of itself, because they love Stephanie Vaquer, and so do the fan base. So with that being said, when it comes down to the Vacant Women's World Championship, I'm going with Stephanie Vaquer. Even though I would love to see Io Sky back on top as the Women's World Champion, she's got her priorities set straight with somebody else, and that is Asuka when it comes down to the Kabuki Warriors and what they got going on with Io Sky. So, if anything, Rhea Ripley's most likely going to help her out with that, and then a tag team situation in the women's division is going to go down between those four ladies. So, I'm going to go with Stephanie Vaquer to win the Vacated Women's World Championship. Up next, let's talk about the undisputed WWE Championship matchup between the champion Cody Rhodes and the challenger Drew McIntyre. And boy, oh boy, am I glad to say that the undisputed WWE champion is back on WWE programming. God, it's so good to have Cody Rhodes back on Friday Night SmackDown. And the fact of the matter is, he was needed. Having Drew McIntyre being the only driving force to carry on this feud while Cody Rhodes was away filming Street Fighter, it was just not a good look by the WWE. You need your champion to be there in order to have everybody be invested in what you're trying to build. And realistically, it's not Cody's fault because he got casted in Street Fighter, so WWE had to do what WWE does and have Drew McIntyre take out Cody Rhodes, having this whole injury so that he can come back and challenge him for the match at WrestlePalooza. Shout out to Cody for, the whole whole situation that he had going on with saying the WrestlePalooza name. But the fact of the matter is, Cody Rhodes is retained. I know a lot of people want to see Drew McIntyre win the undisputed WWE Championship, and the fact of the matter is, I do want to see it myself. I do. He did not realistically get a chance to have a championship opportunity and realistically a championship reign in front of fans ever since the whole COVID thing happened, but the fact of the matter is, I don't think that this is going to be one and done with everything between Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre. You can easily continue on this feud after WrestlePalooza is all said and done and make a series of matches between these two. And heck, even with Randy Orton being a part of all of this as well, you can easily make a triple threat match happen between Cody, Randy, and Drew for the undisputed WWE Championship, and I don't think anybody would bat an eye, because that triple threat would go absolutely insane. And then that can also be a catalyst for a possible Randy Orton heel turn on Cody Rhodes, which can ultimately lead to a Cody and Randy match down the line, which ultimately gets everybody what they've been wanting since Cody Rhodes came back to the WWE, between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. There's a lot of possibilities here. So realistically, there's a lot of possibilities when it comes down to this matchup here, but Cody Rhodes is ultimately going to retain the undisputed WWE Championship. And don't fret, because there's going to be a series of matches between these two, especially with Cody Rhodes being back on WWE programming now. You can legitimately have a feud between Cody and Drew McIntyre, and it's going to get a lot of eyes from people. So I'm going Cody, and we'll see what's coming next for him in the future of that undisputed WWE title. Up next, let's talk about the match that's actually going to be kicking off WrestlePalooza, and that is John Cena versus the man that returned at SummerSlam, Brock Lesnar. Now, guys, as you can tell by my demeanor when it comes down to this match, I'm not for it. I've never been for it, and at the end of the day, I don't even realistically think that one of these guys should even be here in the WWE in the first place. But out of all the matches that we have gotten so far for WrestlePalooza, this has easily been the most disappointing in terms of the build, because we have not had one single interaction between Brock Lesnar or John Cena throughout this entire ordeal. They have not even spoken a single word to each other or even about each other when it comes down to the overall build of this thing. And it just seems like WWE is solely relying on the star power of both Brock Lesnar and John Cena. And at the end of the day, you guys know who I'm going with when it comes down to the result of this matchup here. If John Cena does not win this thing, I'll be very much shocked. But at the end of the day, it's Brock Lesnar, so he could realistically win this match as well. And the thing is, this also kicks off WrestlePalooza. This is going to be the first match under the new ESPN WWE umbrella. So WWE is going to have to hit it out of the park with this match. And not only that, but we got to figure out John Cena's next opponent, because we only have a few more dates left when it comes down to the retirement tour of John Cena. And from what I know, the next date that he currently has planned is not until Crown Jewel. Crown Jewel is his next appearance for the WWE calendar under his retirement tour, and with only a few weeks left and him not being a part of a Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown heading into Crown Jewel, WWE is going to have to do something monumental in the aftermath of the John Cena-Brock Lesnar match, set up something for John Cena at Crown Jewel. Now, I don't know who that could be. I can speculate on who I think it ultimately could be for the match at Crown Jewel, but at the end of the day, I realistically do not know who John Cena's opponent is going to be for Crown Jewel. So I'm going to go with John Cena to win this matchup against Brock Lesnar. I don't want to see another matchup between the two. And at the end of the day, John Cena should just get his win over Brock Lesnar, considering more often times than not, Brock Lesnar has gotten the better of John Cena most of the time. So John Cena's got to get the win here over Brock Lesnar at WrestlePalooza. And finally, which should be the main event of this show, the mixed tag team matchup between World Heavyweight Champion Seth freaking Rollins and the Women's Intercontinental Champion Becky Lynch, taking on CM Punk and the returning AJ Lee. Now, out of all the matches, when it comes down to the WrestlePalooza card, this has easily been the best match when it comes down to the overall build of the storyline and just how it's overall played out on WWE programming. Not only that, but having AJ Lee back on our television screens in 2025 is just another icing on the cake type moment for WWE fan bases in the year 2025, and it's just a great thing to see. The one thing that I'm very much looking forward to outside of obviously the spotlight that's going to be headed on when it comes down to AJ's in-ring return after 10 long years of being away is the chemistry that both AJ Lee, Becky Lynch, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins are going to have within this tag team match. Because if the storytelling has been fantastic in terms of the actual promo side of things, imagine what these four people can do from an in-ring perspective. I mean, we saw AJ Lee take her first bump back into WWE after 10 long years when she got hit with the manhandle slam, and she looked like she didn't even miss a step. So, I mean, I cannot even wait to see what AJ Lee can do in the middle of the ring with somebody as the stature of Becky Lynch and obviously Seth Rollins and CM Punk. They're great. They're both professionals. They know what they're doing. They have nothing to worry about. It's going to be very interesting to see what both CM Punk, Seth Rollins, AJ Lee, and Becky Lynch have in store for this mixed tag team match. And obviously, this is going to lead to separate championship matches for both CM Punk and AJ Lee, as they're most likely going to win the mixed tag team match against Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch to set up a World Heavyweight Championship opportunity for CM Punk and a Women's Intercontinental Championship opportunity for AJ Lee, and that is exactly why I'm going with CM Punk and AJ Lee to win this mixed tag team match and stand tall at the end of WrestlePalooza, with an added prediction of having AJ Lee be the one to pin Becky Lynch to ultimately really set up that feud ultimately for that Women's Intercontinental Championship. We saw in videos on social media after Monday Night Raw went off the air of AJ Lee holding that Women's Intercontinental Championship, and right then and there I knew that WWE is setting up AJ Lee to possibly be the one to take that title off of AJ Lee, because honestly, there's nobody else better to do it than AJ Lee, and it just makes sense. Plus, with CM Punk and Seth Rollins, we all know their history. Seth Rollins cashed in Money in the Bank at SummerSlam to ultimately take the World Heavyweight Championship from CM Punk when he won the World Heavyweight Championship from Gunther at SummerSlam, so it literally just makes sense to have these two continue on their feud, even though their feud has been going on practically ever since CM Punk came back to the WWE, if I'm honest. So it's just inevitable that Punk and Seth are going to continue on doing their own thing for the World Heavyweight Championship, while Becky Lynch and AJ Lee are going to be doing their own thing when it comes down to that Women's Intercontinental Championship, and continuing to up the prestige of that championship, considering how honestly great it's been having the Women's Intercontinental Championship be on Monday Night Raw. So it's an easy layup here. Both CM Punk and AJ Lee stand tall at the end of WrestlePalooza, with AJ Lee pinning Becky Lynch to set up that feud. But guys, that's it. Those are my WrestlePalooza 2025 predictions. In the comment section below, why don't you guys leave your picks for WrestlePalooza 2025? And while you're here also, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Those two buttons are absolutely free to click, and you guys can just enjoy pro wrestling for what it is and escape from reality. Just enjoy what you want to watch and just have fun with while watching it. It's going to be a great weekend. It's going to be a great show. Stay tuned for much more here on the channel to come, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one. Stay safe. God bless, and peace.